Rosie. Good. Place. Perfect. So, Rosie, good. Rosie's excellent at place at the studio, and now our job is to practice that skill in other environments so that she starts to generalize the behavior no matter what's going on and where she is. And that can be a little bit hard. So, good girl. Very nice. We're really happy to see those skills that she's acquired in the studio kind of transfer here, where she realized that settling on the place bed, or what we call posture facilitated relaxation, which is a fancy way of saying if the body's in a position of calm, then the brain's more likely to follow. The other thing I'm working on is pairing the moment she experiences a trigger with food from me. Good. To create this response that she already has. We've done some out and about work with Rosie, so she's doing really good with this. She understands the name of this game. Good girl. So we are already seeing what's called an operant response from Rosie, which is looking at a trigger or a distraction and then looking at me. So when we create this response, basically what we do is we pair the moment she looks at a distraction with food from us. Good. And after a while, what starts to happen is she goes, oh, every time somebody walks by, or every time I hear a dog bark, or every time the doorbell rings, I get fed. And so the dog starts to go, that's happening. And they whip around and look at us, which is good. Exactly what's happening here. So Rosie's got this classical conditioning of noticing a trigger and then orienting back to me, which is super helpful. Once we have that happening, we can be a little bit more picky about how, if we feed every time she does it, or if we want to raise the criteria and start teaching her to only get she's only going to get reinforced for maintaining this settled, calm position. So I would say with how well Rosie's doing with this behavior, we could even take the place bed out of the picture and just start to practice having her do this while on leash in general. So a lot of times when we go out and about and we practice these two things, the place bed kind of gives the dog something to do or a job. It gives their brain a little bit of focus and they're like, oh, okay, this is that thing. And especially if we're really focusing on teaching them how to cope with things that make them really excited or stressy, the place bed is a great place to kind of start with that. So she's doing really good. Okay, Rosie. Okay. Okay. She does struggle with her release word. Is it break? Yeah, okay. So I'm actually going to get this place bed out of the picture here. And we're just going to be at liberty, so to speak. We're going to practice the same skills here. Nice. And I don't necessarily, yeah, I'm going to still pay her for settling, but I don't expect her to necessarily lay down. She may offer it, which would be really cool to see. Good. Another thing we can add on to this as well, so right now we're kind of stationary, obviously, but we can start to work on walking up and down and making sure that she also maintains a loose leash. So since she is doing so good with this, we're going to start to see if we can loose leash walk up and down and kind of past people. Hey, Rosie. Heel. Whoops. Good. Whoops. Good. Heel. Good. Good. Heel. Nope. Good. Good. So that time I was in, oops, I should probably move the camera. Good girl. I anticipated her getting a little bit sucked into that. So when she went to shoot behind me, I made sure I used the leash to communicate, whoops, you've left heel position. Good. 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 Perfect. So number one rule with healing is that we do not use the leash to put the dog where we want them. We only use the leash to communicate when she's become incorrect. We're going to do a little U-turn here. Good girl. Yes. Whoops. Right there. I'm going to use my leg and leash to kind of prevent her from going behind me. Good girl. Good. Oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to bonk you in the head there. Good. So I don't want to pull her where she wants to go, where I want her to go. I'm using the leash when she leaves. Pressure comes on and stays on until she's correct again. And especially when she's kind of shooting behind me, I'm going to use my leg a little bit to kind of block her. Heel. I'm going to do a little U-turn. Whoops, heel. Good. Whoop, 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 whoop. Good. Heel. Very nice. Good girl. Using some kissy sounds here to help catch her up. There we go. That's heel. Good. Good girl. Another little U-turn. Good. So she needs some work on U-turns and about turns, I would say. Heel. So that's called lagging right there when they're kind of far behind. Good. Good. U-turn here. So here's a U-turn, and I would say she needs to just practice that a little bit. And our about turns are when we turn away from the dog. Just like that. Good girl. So we might hang out here a little bit and see if we can't heal through some of these distractions. Rosie, heel. Heel. Good. Heel. Good. Good girl. So right now I'm using a lot of kind of food to help her make good choices. But obviously, as we go along, we can kind of fade some of that out. Good girl, heel. Very nice. Little U-turn. See if we can do that without food this time. Heel. Very nice. Ooh, good girl. Yeah. Heel. Thank you. Good. Good. That's right. She hesitated a little bit, but that's okay. Heel. Good. And turn in. Heel. Good. Whoops. Good. Heel. Good. Very nice, girlfriend. Heel. Good. Yeah. Good. So she's doing pretty good at that. See if we can do one more little about heel. Good girl, heel. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Good. Good. Oh, zoop. Heel. Good. Good girl. Nice. Good job, Rosie.